The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela. Each and every person falls. What sets us apart is whether we rise when we fall. And that to me is what resiliency is all about. Resiliency is a skill. It's something that we're taught at a young age. It's perseverance and knowing when to pivot. And that's something that we're going to dive deeper into today as we look at a deeper understanding of resiliency, recognizing what adversity is, developing coping mechanisms and healthy coping mechanisms, cultivating a positive mindset, and why it is so important to have that positive mindset, as well as the power of gratitude. Yes, gratitude for the messy, adverse moments within life. There is so much power in that, and we're going to dive into that a little later on within the talk today. So resiliency, understanding it. Like I said, it's this skill that we're taught at a young age. It's not this inherited trait that so many people think it is. Yes, some of us are inherently resilient, right? I know that I am, but it's also based upon what we've been through within life and knowing that when we get knocked down, there is nothing the matter with staying down for a time, to be able to regroup, to be able to understand why you fell, why you fall, what needs to shift, what needs to change, to create that game plan, to be able to get up and persevere, to get up and say, I've got this, because that's the key, right? That is the key to resiliency, is getting up, is knowing that you're going to try again, okay? It's try again. If it didn't work the first time, tweak it. Try again, fall again, fail again. No big deal. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we expand. It's through those adverse moments within life. It's through, I don't even like using the word adverse. I prefer using messy moments, because I believe that each and every one of us is a hot mess, whether we want to admit it or not. And that in these messy moments within life is when we learn, we grow, we expand. So recognizing these messy moments, these adverse moments, these moments where we feel as if we are falling from the heavens and there is no net below us to catch us. Those moments when we are sitting on the bathroom floor, bawling our eyes out, questioning why, instead of questioning why, saying, why is this, instead of questioning why, instead of saying, why is this happening to me, say, why is this happening for me? Recognizing that adverse moment, recognizing that messy moment is a moment of growth, a moment of opportunity, a moment for you to look at what is taking place and to rise above it. Developing your inner strength, knowing that you can persevere. I have been knocked down so many times throughout my life, but especially since 2018, that it is amazing that I am sitting here before you and everything that I have achieved as a result of falling, and literally falling flat on my face. Where in 2018, 3 days before Christmas, I had my car full of Christmas presents repossessed. I was getting ready to drive down to North Carolina to spend Christmas with my brother and my niece. And I open up the blinds. I see that my car is missing and I am hysterical. I call my dad and he tells me to calm myself down and call the police. I call the police, and when the dispatcher put me on hold and on hold for a little bit, I knew that something was wrong. And when he came back and told me that my car had been repossessed, the amount of guilt and shame that went through me felt as if I had just been shot by a million bullets. Because I didn't want to face having to tell my family what had just happened. Having to tell my brother that Christmas presents weren't going to be there for Christmas, having to tell my dad what had happened, having to tell my mom what had happened, having to call family members saying that your Christmas presents aren't going to make it there for Christmas, and here's why. Having to call another aunt and saying, hey, surprise, can I now come for Christmas? As a result of that, I went into this dark place where it was Christmas. Hallmark movies, hello, they became my coping mechanism. I laid on the couch. I didn't want to move. I was riddled with guilt and shame and embarrassment. But it was when friends started telling me that they had had a car repossessed, when a mentor I was working with told me she had had a car repossessed, my falling didn't feel so far anymore. I was being lifted up. And my coping mechanism then turned from laying on the couch, zoned out, to putting that foot forward, turning to meditation, turning to journaling, turning to the energy work, doing the things for myself that were going to shift this narrative in my head that I had fallen, that I had failed. And that's the key to having these coping mechanisms. This is one of the keys in overcoming these failures, these falling moments, is knowing how to cope with them and being able to express the gratitude for them. Right? Because it's in these moments of falling and these moments of failure that we are grateful for them. And I know that makes no sense, right? But if I didn't have my car repossessed, if my landlord didn't ask me to move out for his daughter to move in, if I didn't have a place to live for several months during 2019 and 2020, I never would have written a book. I never would have started a podcast. I would not be sitting here before you today sharing all that I've been through. And that's where the gratitude lies in it, is not asking, why is this happening to me, but why is this happening for me? And expressing the gratitude for those messy moments, expressing the gratitude for that failure, expressing that gratitude for those moments where you're falling, and saying, I am grateful. I am grateful that I have experienced this because it has taught me X, Y, and Z. I am grateful for the tools and the resources that I had available for me as I was going through X, Y, and Z. I'm grateful for the people that surrounded me as I was going through X, Y, and Z. I am grateful for the people who were not there for me when I was going through X, Y, and Z, because I now know that I cannot count on those people. When we are in these adverse moments, when we are in these messy moments, we learn who we can and cannot trust. We learn who is there for us to pick us up and who is not. And that is something to express the gratitude for. As I said, Resiliency is a skill that we learn at a young age. It's perseverance and knowing when to pivot. And sometimes that pivoting is the hardest part, right? It's that falling that is easy, all right? The falling is easy. It's the getting back up and dusting yourself off that is the hard part. And that, my friends, is where the resiliency lies, is in getting back up, rising every time you fall. Because you, my friends, are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Each and every one of us is. When we rise, we show our strength. When we rise, we show how powerful we are. When we rise, then we can express the gratitude and know that what happened to us didn't happen to us, it happened for us. It happened to catapult us to that next level. That is when you truly persevere. That is when your true resiliency comes into play. That is when the grace comes into play, because you're not staying down. You're allowing yourself to be catapulted to that next level, knowing that you are shining bright, knowing that you have no clue what is about to happen next, that you have this. It might not seem like it, but life is messy, life is magical, and we get to live it each and every day, because every single day someone is falling. Every single day. And you can either fall with them, you can be their safety net, or you could be rising. So I want to ask each and every one of you right now to look at where you are within your life, to express the gratitude for everything that you have been through so far within 2024. Because let's face it, this year has gone quicker than anyone has expected. And let's start expressing that gratitude for what we've experienced so far this year. Asking not, why did this happen to me, but why is this happening for me? And expressing that gratitude. Expressing the gratitude for what this year still has in store. Create that plan. Know that falling is strength. It takes strength to fall. It takes strength to admit that you are falling. It takes strength to share what you are going through. But every single person on this planet is going through something. I thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. My name is Michelle Burke. I am the host of Hot Mess Magic. I am the author of the international bestseller, Hot Mess Magic, Discover the Magic in Your Mess. And I am a personal growth guide where I guide people through those messy moments in life, teaching them their strength, showing them their emotional resiliency, and how to change their perspective on what it is that they're going through and life as a whole. Again, I thank you. It was an honor and pleasure to be with all of you today.